but I hope they take me far away from this place. Man, I need a vacation, hallelujah. First they going and they wish they knew you. Who the hell are you to tell me business, bitch? You ain't my lawyer, buying everything they selling. Oh well, that's consumers for you. Who's to say that freedom ain't free? I do enjoy it. Holding down the fort. Hallelujah, hallelujah. 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 Let it take its course. What you let go of comes back. Oh yes, well of course. It's a cycle, I run laps. I'm a psycho though, fun fact. Stereotyping this white kid like I'm packing knives in my lunch bags. Bringing guns to the school dance. I'm tired of getting laughed at. Put my life into a blog post. All my feelings have been a hashtag. Suicide note on my last text. Tell my mom and my dad's next. Probably mad cause I'm 19, but I ain't 19, I ain't had sex. Yeah, I digress cause that was a hypothetical. Love me describing a white millennial to an extreme and a stream of thought cause I'm right, cause I write illegible. What's the price of living life in stereo? My scenario is that my mind's at peace, but my heart's gotta speak, so I ride these beats like a bicentennial. That don't really work, ignorance is bliss. I'm convinced pain don't really hurt if it's worth the risk. I've been pissed, thrown down in the dirt, ain't concerned a bit. Watch me hit the curb, I ain't scared, watch me skirt the whip. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Myself. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Myself. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Myself. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Yeah. What's a solid foundation to a force of nature? I've been holding down a fort, unfortunately yours is vacant. Forks up in my road, I don't know, but I hope they take me far away from this place. Man, I need a vacation.
Let's go, let's go. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another live stream here. My name is Zach if you're new. This is Real Deal Futures. Go ahead and read what is on the screen right here. Stream looks good. We look good. What's up? What's up? Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and read what's on the screen here. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear from me here or anywhere else is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm just an idiot yapping on YouTube about trading. Make your own trading decisions. You're responsible for your own stuff. Don't copy anything that you see. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded accounts, and the affiliate partnership disclaimer that describes that I stand to make money from links in my content. Now, let's jump right into the markets because markets are open 9:31 a.m. Eastern. We are moving. I'm going to take a little bit higher time frame look on ES to get started. And yeah, we still look good. A little bit higher time frame look on MES here. This is Top Step X. I've copy trading 3 XFAs here this morning. Yeah, tapping against highs, man. Tapping against highs, failing to get above. This is real zoomed out on the 15-minute. Selling off right now below VWAP, opening up pretty low, really putting in the overnight low right before this 9:30 open. You can see where we are within the daily candle. We could just go out to the daily to take a look at that. Where we are selling off after yesterday's long wick to the downside, kind of doji looking candle. Selling off kind of low in that candle range, not too far below halfway down, but looking pretty weak off the open. So let's drop down to our trading time frame, get a little bit more chart markup done. Zoom out. So this anchored VWAP from 9:30 yesterday resets. Nice. Let's go ahead and adjust this. Magnet tool. This 9:30? Yeah, no, this is our overnight low right here. Going to throw my anchored VWAP off of NYSE open today. 9:30. Boom. Yeah, we can make that one blue. Again, trading ES a little bit more zoomed in. If you guys didn't hop on yesterday, I'm back off of NQ, man. I don't know why I keep coming back for punishment on NQ. Got a lot of time on ES, a lot of fun trading it. And looking to have some more fun trading it coming into the end of this month and into the next. I'll probably stick with it for quite a while. YM, we did have somewhat of a setting up right down here at this level. If I was going to go for that stupid aggressive move back towards VWAP, Yeah, not really there for me. I'm not loving this. It's the reason I don't have the YM chart, set right off the open, because it's just very counter trend. It's really, really weak. It's looking weak day over day for NQ, looking weaker than even ES and for YM, looking even weaker than ES and NQ. I don't know that I want to be the first buyer right off the open. I would take it. If we swept below this low. Maybe came down here, tested this level right around the 420s. Could look for that really, really aggressive move back to VWAP, but looks like we already cracked lower and we're pulling back up. So I'm tempted to not play with that one this morning. Back over to ES, MES to be accurate. We'll let this thing open up. I will take trades ahead of the 15-minute opening range, but I definitely don't mind waiting for that 15-minute opening range to set. A little bit more structure, a little bit of help on ES. But yeah, it's overall I'm staying really flexible, really flexible in the 1 minute here trading ES. I find that not coming in with a strong bias, really on YM or ES, is very, very helpful. This is looking fairly weak. Again. I'll have to slow this down. Could we be retesting, pulling back down in yesterday's daily candle before we blast off and head higher to go retest these highs? Looking at a higher time frame view, sure, maybe. Are we getting ready for a sell-off today? We're going to start pushing lower, head towards yesterday's low. Definite possibility. Definite possibility. We are again below session VWAP. Fairly weak in the overnight session after this push up. Once we really opened up for Asia and London, we had some weakness all the way into pre-market, pulled back up around this 7:30, 7:45 time frame Eastern, where we went to go retest VWAP, and since just continued lower, all the way back down into the main area of consolidation from yesterday's trading session, right before this big crack to the upside. So somewhat indecisive, honestly. Pretty choppy overall, when we really zoom out on this thing. Again, that's why I'm going to stay flexible, try to flow with the market. Again, I'm much more zoomed in on ES. I'm not looking to capture all of the move, just a nice little chunk of it. Find a good way to structure risk, something that maybe presents a high probability setup and a favorable risk to reward structure. Let's see. Checking out what we see on Bookmap as well. Didn't have too much. Dow's got some big stacks of orders. Big stacks of orders. That's interesting. ES, we have, I run Bookmap pretty zoomed out, especially here in the morning, just to try to get a feel for where we have large stacks of orders, a lot of liquidity on the book. Up at the 44 level, got quite a bit. I'll show you this in a minute. Yeah, let's go ahead and change that up. Pretty decent stack of orders up near that VWAP line. If I go up farther than that, I'm gonna make this white because I hate that color. Make it even less prominent. The 160s, we have orders up here. Actually, I'll just go ahead and clone this. Nope, it is it's a pretty obvious level, right? Nice big round number above overnight high and prior day's high. Got some orders on the book up at those two levels. That's what I'll be paying attention to on ES right off the rip. Really close to it. Yeah, let's see what this looks like for you guys. Looking at this area, right here on ES, quite a big stack of orders outside of this algorithmic liquidity that seems to just track above and below price. Another big stack of orders here at the 160s relative to everything else that's on the book, right? We got a higher quantity coming up sell side if we look towards the 144 level and the 160 level. Not really going to utilize that just yet, but if we get near it, we start to head towards it. I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to those levels than I might if I just didn't know about them. If I wasn't using order flow, if I had no idea what was going on. Not going to get too zoomed in on this today. Really going to be paying attention to market structure and price action, but that bad boy that came on the book right here, 934, want to pay attention to that. Oh, there we go, coming off the book. Look at that. Does it get moved around now? Or is it just going to be straight up spoofing or just an order that comes back off? Well, we'll have to watch it. That's why I leave this stuff up running on the side. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one level that I just marked. See if that comes back on. 390. Just take another look. Yeah, it could have got moved down closer to the 40s. But we will wait for ES to start to give us a little bit of structure here. Again, just down near overnight low, right? The low that we put in between at 9:30 a.m. Eastern and session changeover, which is right around the lows of this area of consolidation, right off the open where we pushed down to and started to reject. I'm interested to see if we start to break below that. We start to sell off towards prior day low. Maybe we could look to structure a short. Again, so far below VWAP, below or right at prior day session VWAP, which is this purple line right here. Blue line, which is getting overlapped by price action right now, is our anchored VWAP to NYSE session. I use a couple more of those when I'm really zoomed in here on ES, just for a little bit more structure, a little bit more feel of what the heck is going on. Next two levels I'm going to mark out are 15-minute opening range, high and low. Get ready for that as it comes up. Not looking to jump into anything right off the rip. Just don't have anything that's like screaming at me to be looking for a trade. Again, these aren't set for the next 4 or 5 minutes here, but we can get ready for them. But what is going on, guys? What is going on? You were a super consistent, man. I watched your lives, and you're doing live for more than a year. Very consistent. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know if I'm more than a year worth of lives, but probably getting close. I got early last year when I started this whole content creation deal. The first piece of content that I posted anywhere about trading in this fashion, I think, was early this month last year. So I'm about a year in. But appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you for the positive feedback. PM, maybe. Are you looking to trade on ES? Yeah, looking to trade on ES. Yep. Good morning. What's up, Ryan? What's up? What's up? What's up, Davey P? Told you I would tune in. Awesome, man. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, man. See what the market has for us. We'll see what the market has for us today. Chopping right around this NYSE session VWAP. A little bit of uptrend structure from the open, from this 9:30 a.m. candle, but this is pretty slow moving. Again, I'm not going to be the first guy in. I'm not looking to jump directly into a trade. At this point, couple minutes to 15-minute opening range. Probably going to go ahead and let that set. Again, I'm a little twitchy with my charts. I know some guys just like don't touch them at all. I go back and forth. I like to jump between time frames, right? You know, I like to zoom out, look at the 15-minute, just get a feel kind of where we're at. What does that 15-minute higher time frame, you know, structure start to look like? And then settle back down on the 1 minute. So apologize if I make you guys dizzy swapping back and forth between charts. Don't think we have too much news. Let's see what we got. Yeah, not too much by way of news today. 2 p.m. we've got FOMC meeting minutes. That is a red folder news event. I will be done for the day for sure by then. No need to be in the way of red folder news into the afternoon and power hour. But before that, we're looking pretty dang clear. Tomorrow we have 8:30 unemployment claims. It's a red folder news event for U.S. markets. That'll be pretty dicey. But we're pretty clear once we get into the 9:30 a.m. open, so that doesn't bother me too much. 9:45 a.m. we've got manufacturing, flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI, and then home sales. That could be a little bit tough on Friday. Again, that's during the NYSE session, so that could be a little bit tricky. Watching us kind of just chop around this NYSE VWAP. We tested this level. These six happens to be lining up really cleanly with this. The 36.5-ish, really zoomed in here on the 1 minute. We may want to crack towards VWAP, get through this next area of low volume. Again, very zoomed on the 1 minute here. Looking for these smaller moves. But we are coming up on the opening range, 15-minute opening range right here. I just want to see, are these all the same? High is 36.50. Yep, that is our 15-minute opening range. Now, do we get some break and retest action back towards VWAP? This is weak, very weak down below VWAP for the open, just where we are opening up relative to the overnight session. So a little bit cautious alongs, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, I'm a big fan of good risk structure, good opportunity. What is the higher time frame trend? What does price action to market structure look like from a more zoomed out view? And then what do we got going on in the low time frames here? But I could see this being just a little bit choppy. Yesterday was very choppy. On the live, I had one green trade, made it to 1-to-1, back down to stop me at break even for a whopping $5. Past that, it was very choppy back and forth section. I saw a lot of guys showing big losses across social media. Even in my community, talking about just the choppy market conditions. Very back and forth. So you got to watch for that. If we're not, if we're staying within the prior day's daily candle, we're kind of chopping around. We're not really extending ranges. That could be tough. Yesterday, I said it a bunch of times. I was carrying a pretty strong long bias. I was just anticipating a pullback before a blast off, and that definitely did not come. So, again, I'm kind of cautious of that today, that we could just be in for this lower volatility, lower volume kind of choppiness, right? Where we just don't get a lot of opportunity outside of being a range trader and trading from the extremes. Sometimes you want to be a little bit cautious of that right off the open. But we got our 15-minute opening range set. Let's see, again, just really right back down to this middle ground. Let's see if we start to break to the upside, break to the downside. I'm not going to take a breakout trade right off the rip. I'd look for some kind of maybe break and retest structure back towards VWAP. A push above retest of the opening range, maybe this VWAP that we have here, down into this area of volume again, and then a push back up. Or conversely, we blast up there, reject really harshly. Maybe we look for it short, back down for continuation lower. So again, very flexible, zoomed in. We can do our best to flow with the market, flow with price action and market structure. But yeah, not going to take a breakout right off the rip of this. It's just not a lot of indication or anything to work with, at least for me for right now. Looks like we want to pop the upside, right? We are coming back up to test this level, putting higher lows in, at least on the 1 minute. Looking like we want to crack above and maybe run back towards VWAP. But we could easily sweep above these highs and just continue right lower. So I'm going to stay patient. Hang out for now. Let's see, checking Bookmap again. Yeah, someone's messing around with orders up near VWAP for sure, because there's another stack up there. But I'm not going to pay too much attention. Once something comes on and off the book a couple times like that, I'm not really going to wait a lot of importance on that. But we've got the next significant stack of orders that I'm looking at on Bookmap around this 44. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, 44 and a half level. Looks like we got something sitting up there. Down below at the 25s, we've got, once we get past this liquidity, this algorithmic stuff, we got a little bit down at the 125s down below. We start to break lower, that could be interesting. There's some volatility coming into the downside. Let's see. Again, like I said, guys, I'm going to wait for, a breakout either direction from this range, and then some more structure to form to look for, a nice low time frame trade. Not going to be the first seller right here. This looks strong, right? Momentum to the downside. If you are going to be a breakout trader and get ready to trade this, do your thing. Find your way to structure risk. But that's some serious sellers stepping in. Obvious volume behind that. You can see it right down here. You can see it on Bookmap as well. Looks like we may be in store to break to the downside, but let's see. Let's see. Again, appreciate you guys hopping on as we are watching ES, staring at ES here. Not gonna take myself off this screen just yet, but looking at NQ, looking even weaker. Similar structure, but looking even weaker. YM did not go all the way down to test that support zone that I had and has since kind of pulled back up. But I'm going to stay here on ES this morning. What's up? What's up? Good morning. 1 hour EQ at all-time highs. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? NQ chopping at all-time highs. Yeah, let me look at NQ again. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know if we're just gonna pull back and then run the highs. I'm not sure about this one, guys. This is looking somewhat weak. Well, we'll have to wait and see together. That's the game plan. No momentum. ES price action a bit better than NQ typically. Just a little different, Ryan. Like they're very correlated, right? Obviously, both US indices, you can go back through and back test and track them together. You can watch them together during the day live. Very correlated. What I find out at ES, just kind of hard to quantify, right? So this is just opinion. A little bit slower moving, right? Sometimes it can feel like you're watching paint dry compared to NQ. But I do find that it seems to trend a little bit tighter. It can have a little bit less momentum and be a little bit less wicky. Seems to respect levels and zones a little bit cleaner. Maybe it's a little bit easier for you zoomed in, but again, that's all opinion. People are going to love NQ. I posted a tweet asking, I got, totally both sides of the coin. You get guys that love NQ and guys that, hate it and everything in between. But ES is, the way that I would describe it, a little bit slower, a little bit tighter trending. Not as wicky, which you kind of got to get used to, right? Because maybe you capitalize on that type of wicky movement back and forth. But a little bit more manageable as far as structuring risk goes and zooming in on lower time frames for me personally, right? Going to be different for everybody. But that's what I'm looking at. As I'm, I'll come back to some messages, guys, but as I'm looking at, yes, crack this 15-minute opening range low, pull right back up. I think we're gonna go and test. VWAP on this. That's my indication here. But I'm going to have to wait. I'll probably miss the move up back to VWAP if we start to break out to the upside. But it's too counter trend for me. This Had this broken this low, right, this overnight low and extended down below, and we pulled back up here, I'd be looking short. I'd be looking short right from this area. That would be, continuation to the downside, pullback, and I'd be getting short on this. We put a higher low in here, just sweeping the 15-minute opening range and not wanting to continue lower. So initially for me, this is a long setup. The way that this is playing out right now. This is a long setup back towards 15-minute opening range high, back towards VWAP. I just don't know that I want to be so counter trend right off the rip today. Yeah, we could take this one from up here. I'm going to test this one. Oh, it's very tight risk. I'm going to have to scale a little bit heavier. That was way too low of risk for this trade. That's what I get for not really measuring out and paying attention to that being 4 points of risk. Yeah, I'm so I wanted to get in on this with this structure. That's not nearly enough risk to put on $85. I'm looking more towards the $200 risk per trade mark on this. Yeah, let's kind of see what we get here. Let's see what we get here for this first one. Getting a retest. It's allowing me to add here. Again, this is something I'd hold back towards VWAP for a crack below. Maybe if we pull a little bit lower, I'll get a little bit of an add in here. But so far, long 4 micros from 61.34, stop at 61.29 3/4, just below overnight low. All right, I'm going to add to the closer to the normal risk structure that I'd like to see, risk per trade wise. Make this actually worth something. So I'm in for 8 at 61. Sorry, it's being overlapped by this volume point of control. 61.33 3/4. Stop at 61.29 3/4. Reasons for the trade. Reason being, right? We opened up, pushed to the upside a little bit, pulled all the way back down after setting our 15-minute opening range, cracked the 15-minute opening range low, did not put a lower low in, right? We started to form a lower high here, looking at zoomed out 1-minute structure. This is choppy. This is somewhat choppy, but I like to trade this if we are holding these lows, maybe just sweeping the 15-minute opening range low, back towards 15-minute opening range high, potentially getting a test above this prior day NYSE session VWAP, starting to get through and hold the current NYSE session VWAP for a move back towards VWAP, session VWAP. I know that's a lot of VWAP comments there, but that's what I'm looking at here. Might look to take some profit if we crack these highs and go stop loss to break even. One thing that I'm noting in my trading and just in these markets, they are very much categorized as see profit, take profit markets, right? You saw yesterday, I held a trade past 1-to-1, showed me over $100 in profit, came back to stop me at break even. It is definitely just these kind of wild back and forth markets, and it's difficult to hold through that volatility while the moves might still play out. Especially if you're on low time frames like this, and grabbing your quick profit and maybe looking to re-enter at a spot that makes sense, could be an okay play. For me, the earliest spot that I'm going to allow myself to start taking profit would be cracking above 15-minute opening range high. If this has to come all the way back down and stop me out, no problem. That's going to be trade number 1. We'll look for second setup. But just a tiny bit of profit right here is not nearly enough to start grabbing anything. I'd consider half off right above 15-minute opening range high. That's the game plan. We come back down through this level, break overnight low, and take me out of this trade. I think this is much more likely to be a continuation lower, right? Maybe we just need to pull this back and forth BS move, but if we break lower below these lows and we don't reject right away, I consider that as a move to the downside, or just in for some choppiness, and if that's the case, I'm out for my $160 across these 3 accounts. You put your trades on, you accept risk on the front end, right? That's the key, guys. Not continuing to the upside. That's ugly. That is ugly. Not continuing to the upside just yet. Coming back down on us. Coming up on the 10 a.m. close. NQ looking weak. I have to see what we get here. YM looked weak, but pulling back on that 5-minute candle. But leave the trade on. Take the stop if I have to. Look for a second setup. Kind of see what forms after if we come back down and break through this level. Took this from the middle of this 15-minute opening range. Stop below lows. Looking for a crack back up. But again, counter to this session VWAP. Counter to kind of the price action that we formed overnight. So dangerous play. A little bit of a dangerous play. We'll see how it works out for me today. But a valid setup nonetheless, right? The way that this structure formed, that for me, and then all the way back up, after holding above for quite a while, sweeping not all the way down below these lows, but cracking below the open 15-minute, and then rejecting right back up. That calls for a long, stop loss down below whatever level of structure is here. Simple price action market structure, doesn't play out every day. Just enough times to be dangerous and maybe gives me a way to structure risk. Simple stuff, guys. Simple stuff. Yeah, I know we got a couple more messages in the chat. I'll chat with you guys, but a little bit zoomed in, focused up on this 1-minute chart, seeing if we can't get a push to the upside. Again, I'm probably going to look to, if we start to crack above this, right back up to this middle ground. Yeah, we're going to make a decision here. I hate how long this has taken. The more we kind of chop before moving up and not really continue on this push right here, the more this could be, hey, we're going to come and sweep these lows before continuing. So I don't love this. But if we start to break up, I'm going to look to grab half profit and then go stop loss to break even. That's my game plan. Here we go. Nice push. Let's see. Can we crack it? Man, right back in. Yeah, really staying within this range. I don't like that rejection. Again, I'm on the 1-minute time frame, so I'm aware of that when it comes to price action and what this actually looks like on a 5-minute. But that's buyers are struggling to get above that level there, at least for right now. Yeah, that was an opportunity to get out of something that was ugly that I left on. This is super choppy. That was a gnarly rejection. I'm not too happy about not taking that off right as we came back down there and sat. But let's see what we get down around the lows. This looks like we're going to sweep it. testing overnight low again, pulling back up. Yeah, that was an ugly rejection without breaking above 15-minute opening range high. I'm in it now. I'm not going to look to manage it, but this looks like we're going to come and sweep this low and potentially continue lower. Sellers immediately stepped in back up here, took this thing back down, not sweeping above this high. That's pretty ugly. Forming a really, really choppy back and forth range here. Stuck in a range so far. Buyers not wanting to take this thing higher, at least just yet. Retest of overnight low held so far on the 1 minute, but this looks weak. This looks pretty weak. This looks pretty weak. There's the stop, boys and girls. NQ selling off, looking very, very weak. Could be the sweep below, but that's very choppy. Very, very choppy. So out for that one, full stop out. Not really happy about not taking it off right there. After that type of move, being somewhat more aggressive on this low time frame with managing trades, the way you saw me do it yesterday, that's just a gnarly indication that we don't want to blast right off. Maybe you give it a little bit more time in case we come right back down to the middle ground and then blast to the upside. But that was an opportunity to just hop out at break even, let the trade do whatever it's going to do, and then look to get back in. But held it. There's obviously always potential that you pull back down, towards your stop loss and then blast off. But on another day, on a better day, I'm cutting that one right there. And of course, you run the risk where you get stopped at break even, and then the thing just continues to blast up. But this is looking weak. It doesn't so far, just looks like a sweep below this low. I'm not going to be the first seller in. Wait to see if we get some more structure because so far this is looking very choppy on ES. Weak overall, not nearly as weak as NASDAQ, which looks like it's selling off really aggressively. YM is kind of just holding where it's at. But this is looking pretty dang choppy and weak overall. Failing to get above highs. Breaking below overnight low. Not by a whole lot. But let's see what we get from here. Look for setup number 2. Hopefully fake push down. Can you fake that for my buys? Yeah. Where is profit for target? Again, didn't have a set profit target there. Was looking for a sweep above these highs. Almost got it on that candle. To close out about half, right? Because I think potentially what we saw to the downside and we might see right now could have happened conversely if we just swept above this high and pulled back down. But I just didn't quite get there. Past that, second close would be near VWAP somewhere. Another push up to the upside. That's what I'd be looking at. Today, FOMC price can go like this for hours. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Can definitely be a choppy session. Definitely be a choppy session. I want to pass my challenge with your live, bro. I can. I don't know. If you're asking if you can pass the challenge copying my trades, I would say definitely don't do that. Absolutely not going to help you at all. Copying somebody else's trades does not work inherently for multiple reasons. The main one is, first off, you're never going to be fast enough, even if you try. But the main reason is you're never going to have confidence copying somebody else's system. First, and for sure, don't copy me because this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot yapping here on YouTube. But you're never going to have confidence in anybody else's system. You can take other things from other people. You can learn strategy. You can learn the tools they use. You can understand how and why they trade. But it's on the individual trader to make that their own, right? Going and just trying to take signals from somebody, not helpful. Definitely not helpful. But learning from other people out there, right? Or maybe just paying attention to what they do and decide that that's what you want to do or not do, can be helpful. And then making it your own, that's the key. So pull all the way back up to NYSE session VWAP, and then a continuation, maybe back down to the downside. This is a sell setup right here, right now. I'm not going to jump into it. Could also run an anchored VWAP off the bottom, but this looks like we do want to continue lower right now. Crack into the downside again. Again, this is pretty dang choppy. We are, somewhat making a decision right here, but this is a quick sweep below and then a pull right back up. That gave you an aggressive entry short off of that middle line right there. But I'm just going to wait on this and see. I don't want to have to hop right back in. Give this a little bit more time. 10:09 a.m. We got time for structure to develop to the downside if it's going to develop to the downside. So we will wait and see. Wait and see. Switch to ICT maybe. I don't know if you're recommending that for me or for the guy who's trying to pass his combine. But yeah, sure. If that works for you, great. You go ahead and run that. Negative $45. DLS in NQ. Gotcha. Just going to try to look at the market. At least this first hour. Gotcha. Yeah, again, guys, cautious of this kind of choppiness in the markets. We've seen a lot of back and forth movement. Yesterday wasn't terrible, but definitely, after that initial push down and the pull all the way back up, it's tricky to work with. So I'm cautious myself on this. Yeah, breaking and retesting. This is looking weak. There's a short play to the downside for an extension lower. I'm tempted to take it. Again, just kind of a continuation, right? Break below the lows, but I just don't like how that didn't continue. That already I would have liked to see start to push down. So I don't want to take a second one to get caught in the middle of the chop if, in fact, this is just going to be a sweep lower and we pull right back up. But I am getting ready to switch my bias and just go ahead and sell this bad boy. We probably have to run it with a wider stop, though, all the way up above these highs. Let's wait and see. Let's see what we get out of this. ICT or order flow. What I don't trade ICT, guys. I don't know what that would be in terms of risk to reward. Order flow I find helpful, right? You see me using Bookmap over on the side, but even that is somewhat secondary to price action and market structure and volume here on my candlestick chart. But I think really what it comes down to is whatever works for you, right? Whatever makes sense to you, whatever you're able to backtest and display has an edge in the markets. And you can build confidence in. That's the key, right? I don't think there's any one best strategy. I don't think there's any one best tool to use or one right way to do this, right? If there was, everybody would be doing the same thing and making money. And they're not. They're doing a whole bunch of different things, using different strategies and tools and making money, different ways. So it's about finding what works best for you, right? That's my opinion on strategy and approach and tools. I find order flow helpful, right? To a degree, the very, very simple way that I use it. And other people might say, no, I don't find it helpful. It's distracting. It doesn't provide me, any additional help when it comes to structuring trades or managing trades. And that's fine. That's going to be true for that person. So I would encourage you, if you're early in on your journey, experiment, try different things, try different tools, see what works for you, best. And recognize that there's not just one best thing out there. For you, there is, right? But that's specific to you, your personality, the way that you read the market, the way that you interpret, different things, your perspective, right? Everybody has a unique perspective. Watching it pull back up. Yeah, man, I'm tempted short on this bad boy. Tempted short on this bad boy. Yeah, let's go around the horn and take a look. Dow pulled back up, got close to VWAP, didn't hit, didn't come all the way down to this support level and test. NQ. Yeah, NQ looking weakest out of the bunch. NQ looking weak. Where's our 930 open? Just do a little bit of markup here on NQ. That's an ugly line. Yeah, that's looking weak, guys. It's looking weak. I'd be a little bit surprised if we didn't find some support somewhere down here and come up and retest this area from yesterday's price action, area of high volume near VWAP. That makes sense, but this is really not just blasting off. You know, we're not erasing the move from the overnight session, London into pre-market, and then at the open just continuing to sell off. So that's looking weak for NQ. Jumping back, yeah, on the 5-minute, weak as well, man. Staying below VWAP. This is looking short. Tried that first long, you know, for a crack back up towards VWAP, back above 15-minute opening range. This is looking weak. I really don't have any business looking long on this right now. Yeah, there's a short play out of this, but this is choppy, right? This is a lot of consolidation on the 1 minute. So I think I'm going to hang on this, guys. I don't have real strong indication to try this thing short for an extension lower right now. I think that this is very choppy, and it's not real clean to the downside, pushing up, and then we have sellers follow through to continue to break the lows right here. Just looking at it objectively, price action and market structure. We're not continuing down right here right now. You know, here we are again pulling back up. So if I sold off this candle, I wouldn't be too happy right now, right? So I'm going to stay patient on this, see if we do start to find some direction. We start to break to the downside, break to the upside, and then look to get a continuation of that. Yeah, but that's my game plan. Kind of just hang tight on this right now. Watch it closely because the 1 minute chart, you know, even on ES, which can be very, very slow, does move fast. Want to be ready for that. Buyers taking it back higher. Let's see what we get out of ES here. Again, appreciate you guys hopping on with me. Just watching Bookmap over on the side. Yeah, order's still at 44. Appreciate you guys hopping on with me. I'm here live every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, trading with you for free on YouTube. And feel free to hop in the free Discord. Over 1,500 members. We hit like 1,500 members, so I could say over 1,500 now. We'd be more than happy to have you in there chatting it up. I think I'm going to watch that long play out, and I'm just going to have to take that frustrating stop below this level right here by a couple points. It's okay if I have to. It's definitely something I'll journal and, you know, reassess. Hey, should I be running a, you know, much wider stop loss and have to capitalize on a much larger move to survive some initial wicks? For the most part, again, on ES, it respects levels pretty tight. NQ, I like to run a much wider stop loss because it's so damn wicky. But this may be a push to the upside back towards above this level, back towards VWAP, where that initial long play would play out. For me, for the most part, I say, hey, you know what? Decent read of the market. You had the initial structure. You just didn't go wide enough to survive that wick to the downside. But yeah, this is choppy and back and forth, man. This is pretty ugly open, right? Here's our 930 candle, and here's what we got so far. That's not a beautiful NYSE session so far. Not a whole lot of opportunity. If you're trading from the extremes, right? If you're looking for sells, near and off these highs, you're looking for buys near and off these lows, maybe. You're just going to trade the initial range, but not a whole lot. This is indecisive. As we push higher, I'm looking long. As we push lower, I'm looking short. Right now, overall, this is weak. Where we are zoomed out, so I'm not going to try it long again. That was my initial attempt. But I'm interested to see where we go from here. Really wouldn't be looking long on this until we came up to VWAP, retested, and then continued. Short, I could see as we're continuing down lower. If we keep pulling back up into this range and testing these lows, I do think it gets more and more likely that we break to the downside. That's what I could see on this. So short would be first. Short would be first. Yeah, not a whole lot on Bookmap, man. Just back up at 44.5 on ES to the upside. Watching this for a short play. Watching this for a short play. Choppy consolidation, man. What I don't like for a short on this, honestly, is that we just didn't come up and even check out VWAP, check these highs out, right? Like if we pulled this move where I was long, we got that initial, pop to the upside, take everybody out who was getting short already with stops above here. That would be really clean to look short on this. It's just something that you usually see coming out of consolidation, out of a choppy market. We typically do extend the range, the area of consolidation to the upside if we're going to move lower, or to the downside if we're going to move higher. If we're not going to do it after putting a higher low in, like I was pushing for on that first long. But this is just choppy, man. This is choppy. Again, still looking at it with a short in mind. Was getting ready for it as we started to come lower on this, crack higher and then continuation. I'm tempted on it right now. Let me just look at the 5 minute. Yeah, I don't know about this. This is just kind of ugly structure. Market not giving me a lot to work with, man. Gonna have a boring ass week here. Excuse my language. I really hope not. But like somebody said, you know, no news. No news until 2 p.m. FOMC minutes coming out. You know, a lot of times we just get anticipation of that, and that kind of results in chop, results in just kind of back and forth, not a lot of movement. Waiting to see if we start to crack lows and maybe get some continuation to the downside, maybe. Pushing back up, man. Yeah, this is choppy. I don't know that I'm going to get the second setup on this. I'm going to wait for it, see what starts to present itself. But this is ugly. This is pretty ugly price action so far. Not a whole bunch of opportunity. Right back to this middle area of consolidation from pre-market into the open. Sitting right at NYSE session VWAP. Failing to move lower as we crack lows. Failing to move higher as we start to push back up. Just back and forth rangy price action. So for me, you know, again, I'll work within it to a degree before it gets so rangy. Like on this move right here where I got long. But after it just continues back and forth, and especially after a loss trying it in one direction, I'm cautious. I'm cautious to keep trying it, right? Because from here, you're really not waiting for a lot of direction outside of higher time frames, and you're trading from the middle of this area of consolidation for a break above and continuation, or a break below and continuation. And the more we chop, the less decisive and direction that the less decisive action we have, right? You know, buyers and sellers are just kind of battling it out, hanging out, or prices at equilibrium, however you want to describe it, whatever narrative you want to run. But we're kind of just hanging out. So I'm not going to be the first buyer or seller on this, but we'll wait and see. Stay patient, right? Doesn't mean you get to just wrap it up. You can wrap it up for the day, but if it's your trading time frame, you typically want to stay patient, right? Stay focused, because we don't know if the next candle is going to start to sell off really, really aggressively, and a beautiful downtrend, you know, starts to develop. Just don't know. But while we're waiting, I'll take a quick break. Be right back, guys. All right. Whole lot of nothing. That's what we're looking at so far. That's what we're looking at so far. Still a whole lot of nothing. Chopping around this range, making the case that we want to go higher to a degree here, but still kind of sitting here at this range. I'd be surprised if we didn't go check VWAP out. It's going to make for just a worse setup than if we continued lower and be looking for something to the downside. If this pull back up and then we saw a continuation lower actually formed, maybe we'd have something kind of clean, but this is just pretty ugly right here. So not going to look to be a buyer right off the rip for a breakout to the upside. I don't think that presents a good risk structure. I think you're counter to the trend overall for the session so far and for pre-market. We sweep above, test VWAP, sell all the way back off lower. I'm definitely interested in sells for a continuation down towards prior day low. That would kind of be the next movement. So long story short, hang out. I'm going to watch this thing, see if we don't get something that sets up here. We are coming up on initial balance. The next 10 seconds, we are going to get the initial balance high and low. The high is going to be overlapped right here. Low is going to be right down here. Initial balance is the first 1 hour opening range from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Strong stats behind that, like I was talking about yesterday. Typically do not break both sides of that initial balance. But yeah, there we go. 10:30. We're going to come and crack the upside, man. So this is going to be an interesting day. This is going to be interesting. Really levels that are just not going to align today. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. So we got our initial balance high and low marked, overlapping the 15-minute opening range, and the low at the low. We typically do not break both sides. Oh, man. Big volatility out of that one to the upside. Oh, there's my long play from earlier playing out, guys. Had to come down and stop me right here first, right? My stop loss was somewhere down here, I think 29 3/4. That's some gnarly volatility sweeping up through VWAP and pulling right back down. We'll know later, I guess, if that's a comment from maybe the U.S. administration or some tariff news, something unexpected coming out, or if this is just going to be a really aggressive sweep to the upside and then no continuation. We're seeing it across indices. That's present on NQ and on YM. Wow, a lot of volume there. Ton of volume there. If we turn really aggressively from this, which we're not doing yet, that's going to look like a super aggressive run of stops, but that's a ton of volume, and we didn't just turn right back around yet. So, but this is a short setup if you're looking to be the stop hunter, right? You're going to look for this to be a short play, go up, pull up here, stop everybody out that was getting short, and then continue lower. It's not something that I'm going to look for on this, but that's what this feels like initially. Next to that, we're going to find buyers here and just blast off to the upside. We're going to really just erase this structure from the morning, and this is going to be the reversal happening after 10:30 a.m. But so far, I got a lot of conflicting levels here in regards to trend and what this looks like. So I'm sitting patient. I'm not looking to jump right into anything. Plenty of opportunity, plenty of time in the day left. If that comes all the way back down, that indeed is what that's going to be. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Wow. Nice. Let's see where we go from here. Markets repeating yesterday. Yeah, 2 sell-offs back to back. It's nasty work. My mind is something scheduled for tomorrow. I believe it's related to. Tried looking for news. Any updates anyway? Yeah, market is reacting to everything. It's tricky. It's a headline market, right? We got a ton of news that breaks, a ton of information that comes out, and the market, interprets that and prints it in real time. So it's definitely tricky. It's interesting to trade. We get movements like that, really really volatile movements, that happen quick. Those are present somewhat to a degree if they're not based on anything fundamentally, just based on where orders are placed and how the market's moving. But we're certainly see a lot more of that, right? The U.S. president tweets something, or somebody says something about tariffs, and all of a sudden the market jumps, makes the largest move of the day. But that was a gnarly push to the upside. We pulled right back down, but this was, at least so far, not an immediate rejection where we are blasting lower. We pulled right back in, and now we're back to VWAP holding VWAP. So this doesn't look like an initial stop run where we're just going to blast lower. At least for right here, right now, we're holding. Volume decreased after that massive spike. We did go up there and not quite fill the orders that we had at 44 and a half. Back down to the IB high and 15-minute opening range high. This is tricky. This is tricky. Man, buyers want to take this thing higher, huh? It's a long play. This is a long play, but it's a lot of volatility, and to get involved right after that, it's a little tricky. But we got a long play setting up here. Came through VWAP, retesting 15-minute and initial balance. Breaking above initial balance means that we are much less likely to come back down through this level here. We trended lower, chopped around here, gnarly volatility, and now we're sitting right here at VWAP. We start to get above this and hold. This is going to look like we want to move higher. Not really the exact same move out of NASDAQ, not that close. YM came back and tapped VWAP, but ES is looking the strongest out of the bunch with a crack through VWAP and now sitting at it. See what this looks like zooming out just a little bit. Give you the view from the 1 hour. And get rid of this level up here. Watching this structure form, we got some movement outside of this zone, outside of this initial choppy range that we put in here. Higher time frame, opening up below VWAP, low in the prior day's candle range. A really aggressive crack to the upside on a lot of volume. Immediate rejection back down, right? Like immediate on the next 2 1-minute candles. 8-point sell-off. Now we're holding right around VWAP. This is looking like a long play for me. We broke above the initial balance high. There's a strong statistic that when we do break, we extend, which also filled. This is a very, very wide risk structure to say I'm going to get a stop loss like way, way down here. I'm definitely not going to go for that today. But something maybe below this middle ground here if we are going to continue to move to the upside on this. We did come back and test it right here, so you could say, hey, this is a long play after this kind of choppy consolidation. I'm looking at this to the upside, but I don't have the conviction in this one. That's a gnarly crack to the upside. I'm sure there was something fundamental that was underlying that, and we didn't like blast right off with it, right? We came right back down, and now we're just kind of chopping, not too far off the highs of the initial range. So it's still not a great setup. Not a great setup. I'm trying to get one on with you guys here, but game plan is to trade a valid setup, right? So let's see what develops. I'd be looking at a retest lower and then maybe some continuation, unless we just turn directly back down to the downside and this ends up being a crazy, stupid expanding day where we get another really frustrating day like yesterday. But never a dull moment in these markets, man. Never a dull moment. Just when you think there's going to be a dull moment, when we're consolidating, we blast off to the upside on massive volume. Let me try this long from up here, guys. I'm going to go... I'm going to scale in a little bit heavier than that. I'm going to try this long from up here. I'm going to go pretty wide stop loss on this one. Allow it to come all the way back down into the zone, retest here, and go for continuation to the upside. We are holding right at VWAP. We retested initial balance. Even though we got a gnarly news candle here, I'm not going to let that shake me out of a push to the upside that looks like we're trying to form here. I'm going to go for some continuation to the upside, looking at this being potentially some direction out of this area. If it ends up just being a choppy day, has to come all the way back down, I'll take my 2 stop outs, and that will be that. But this is starting to come back above this zone. Maybe we just need to sweep higher before coming lower first. But I'm going to look for some continuation to the upside on this one. Stop loss placement, I really do want to allow it to come all the way back down. Since I'm buying really a push to the upside, a breakout. my invalidation is going to be like all the way back down into this zone, into this area. This middle ground, this area of high volume, I think can easily be tested again. And I don't mind running a wider stop loss, because if this does play out to the upside, I think we could be in for a larger move, right? I'm looking at this as potentially a nice move up above this news candle, or news candle, just above this crazy wick candle, and then some continuation, right? I think if we start to break to the upside, we can have some room to run. So, yeah, stop loss is going to go wide on this one. Way, way down into this area. Again, I'm trading this as a continuation. High in the zone. Buying this break above VWAP again. Not going to go super tight. Just a couple points of risk on this one. That's my game plan. Long 7 from 61.38 3/4. Stop right now at 61.31 1/2. That's my game plan. And since we're at about 10:46, yeah, we can hang with this one for now. See how this starts to play. See if we can't get long America on this one. No take profit set. I know somebody asked about that earlier. No take profit set. I'm going to look to manage this if we move to the upside with some discretion. Waiting to see if we start to get some momentum that takes us above this 42 level into these 44 and a half level, 144 and a half level, where we got some liquidity still sitting up here on Bookmap. Would like to see that potentially, us come up to that and potentially fill. Maybe take some partials up there. Maybe look at stop loss to break even. Maybe take the whole thing. But again, I think this can be the pullback down into this area consolidation. Continue to sweep below lows, and then a nice reaction to the upside. Or choppy, right? It's going to be an ugly, choppy day. We don't really know. But running this one with a wide stop loss, at least to start, I don't know that I would want to realize this full amount, right? Here's discretionary trade management. You can adjust your stop. You could say, oh, you know what? I don't like this right now. I'm going to close out. Or I'm going to go stop loss to break even right here. I don't like the way this is working. Or I'm going to reduce my stop loss, right? Discretionary with trade management. Like I said on this one, on another day, I would have liked to cap that long early here and not have to realize that first, $150, $160. But didn't do that. Left the trade on, let it pull back down, and then, continue. So if you're going to actively manage your trades, you also got to recognize you're not going to be right every day, right? Your discretion's not going to serve you well every single day. You just have to decide if more often than not, you adjusting your trades, touching your stop loss, touching take profits, being discretionary is helping you or hurting you. And your data will show you that for the most part. Let's see. We got NQ back at VWAP. Ooh, Dow is really turning and burning to the downside. Don't love that at all. But let's see what we get here on ES. We're trading ES, not Dow. Yeah, let's see what we get out of this one. Long again. Can't help buying long America. I'll be right back, guys. Gonna grab some water. How'd the chair do? Chair didn't do too good. Not a whole lot of continuation on the upside. Testing VWAP. That's looking kind of choppy up there. Let this one play for a little bit. You know, if it comes all the way back down, I might decide to manage this thing. But I'm gonna leave it on for right now. I like the setup, right? Trying to flow with structure that's forming, playing along with that IB high stat, although I don't have it all the way back down below IB low. We didn't reject super harshly after pushing lower on this initial candle. Looking for some direction out of this market, man, but not getting it yet. You know, running a fairly wide stop loss. I'm on the 1 minute chart, so you know, 7.5 points, not that wide. Continuation of the upside could be nice if we start to see it. Pullback can be okay, can be healthy. I think we obviously have room to run if we start to break out and continue to the upside, but this just may be I always like to make the case, you know, for the other side of my trade. This may be a pullback, really aggressive, before a continuation lower. I'm reading low time frame, price action, and market structure, and looking for this to be the push to the upside, but it might not be. This might be the ugly sell-off today. Might be the ugly continuation lower. But we got our trade on. We accept our risk, right? You say, if you put a trade on, you better say, hey, wherever that stop loss is, I fully accept that. It can blast right to that level right now, and I'm not going to lose an ounce of sleep. Of course, I don't want that to happen, but I'm comfortable with taking that risk on in this account, you know, in the account that I'm trading, whatever that is for you right here, right now. I'm comfortable realizing that loss. If you're not, you should probably close out, or your size too heavy, and structure your risk in a different way. Reduce the stop loss, reduce the contract size, take the trade off because you don't have confidence in it, you know, whatever it is. But that's part of your risk management. You know, what is your total risk per trade, risk per day? You know, what are your upper limits, and how are you going to stick to those? So in worst case scenarios where you take a couple losses, which is normal, right? Most of us are not operating with a 100% win rate. If you are, I give you congratulations. You know, maybe you're going to be modestly positive, right? 60 or 70% would be great. You're still going to take losses, right? Plenty of back-to-back losses in that big equity curve. So what are you comfortable realizing, right? Maybe you're a little bit dynamic with it, but as a whole, you should have those answers worked out for yourself. Oh man, I forgot my water. Damn it. I'll be right back, guys. 2 seconds. There we go. Back in action. Got to stay hydrated. If you're going to trade, you got to stay hydrated. It's important. What's up? What's up? Made $400 funded account. Shorting MNQ. Lost 1,400 eval. Shorting MNQ. Although the price hit my target after stopping me out. All pre-market. That BS candle 7:01 a.m. really killed it for me. I got you. Let's see, 7:01. Ooh. Yeah, big pop right there. NQ rejecting VWAP and selling off. I could tell by my P&L that ES is doing the same, man. Not wanting to continue on this one. Really not wanting to continue on this one. Let's see if we could stay above NYSE session VWAP, testing prior day, retesting 15-minute opening range, and the IB. If I wanted to put another VWAP line, it would be right from this level here, which would be low of day anchored VWAP that we are testing. Sellers stepping back in on this thing, man. Just not playing nice with me. Not playing nice with me at all. Again, leaving this one on, discretionary, like I said, giving myself the option to manage it. But at this point, this is the area that I wanted to allow a retest for. Hopefully survive without having to come all the way back down here. But if I take this stop out, that's pretty much going to be it for me. I'll cap myself right there, exercise good risk management, and say, that's enough. 2 L's with, around what I want to realize for a loss for the day across these 3 accounts, and, that would be pretty much it. But let's see if we can get a healthy pullback and then a continuation. Would love to see rejection here, but if this continues lower, stops me out, I do think we are likely to either just have a really big choppy day that I'm not going to be able to manage risk on, or we just continue lower. But gnarly pullback, sells off a VWAP, would have paid. Still looking at this thing long, 2 longs on this, and obviously shorts would have paid pretty nicely. Let's see if we got to take 2, guys. In by the skin of my teeth so far, but that doesn't look good. Well, again, would like to see rejection and then pull right back up out of this area of consolidation to the upside. That would indicate, a retest of this middle ground and then continuation, but that's very close, very close. I think it's more likely that I'm going to come and get stopped out on this one, at least right here, right now. But going to leave the trade on, right? Going to let the trade breathe, at least as much as I already have. But let's see, 10:58. Yeah, coming up on 11 o'clock. Top of the hour, could see some more volatility. Unless we get away from this stop loss, this is going to be a dicey one to try to survive. But like we said from the beginning, man, put the trades on. Structure your risk, accept that risk, right? Accept the worst case scenarios, be comfortable with your stop loss. You want to trust it to a degree, put it in a spot that makes sense for you, where you say, hey, if we reach this level, I don't want to be directionally positioned anymore. I want to be flat, or I even want to be positioned in the opposite direction. That's all you can do. If you discretionarily manage your trades the way that I do, actively manage them, do that to the best of your abilities. But recognize even with that, you'll be wrong sometimes. Let's see. Kept me in by about a tick here or 2. Back to this middle ground. Do we have to come back down and check this low out? If we do, I'm out for the full stop. I'm not going to cap this thing here. I wanted to allow for this retest, and potentially a continuation would be beautiful if we blasted right back through these 35s. Really through the IB high and then continue to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see. But trades on. Taking trades with you guys here live for you on YouTube. Happy to be doing it. I will be trading. Tradeify account coming up, straight to funded from TradingView. You guys want to check that out? I'm going to throw the link in the chat. 30% off, straight to funded accounts. That's the link right there. And the code for them that's running right now is FEB, F-E-B, all caps. Be trading that probably starting tomorrow with you guys live. Just got to get Tradeivate hooked up to TradingView again. See if we can't take some trades on Tradeivate with you guys. Wow, so kept me in. Now what do we do from here, guys? In by by literally a tick. Yeah, literally 1 tick, right? The low of this candle is it's funny how the market moves sometimes. Is 31 3/4. My stop is at 31.5 here in MES. We retested deep into this area of consolidation, all the way back down into the range, almost to the 50-minute opening range low. Pushed back up. Buyers are taking this thing higher. I'd really like to see a continuation here. This can easily just be a retest of VWAP, and we're going to blast all the way lower. I'm not taking the trade off. I'm going to leave it where it is. Already got extremely close to realizing the full loss. The name of the game now is going to be to hang on, see if we can break above. Again, that type of movement doesn't look bad if and when we turn from around this area now and come all the way back down. that's going to look super ugly. But I don't have a better way to structure risks than I have right now, right? If my stop loss was all the way down here, I'd probably consider moving it to where it is right here, below this level. But survived by literally the skin of my teeth. One tick on that one. So fun, fun action so far. All the way back to break even, giving me a chance to stop at a break even. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold on, trust the trade. If this has to be ugly chop and come back down and stop me out. Now at this point, I definitely don't want to be trading again. If we come all the way back down through this level after pulling this crap, absolutely going to be happy to walk away and say, cool, I'm going to realize, $400 of loss across these accounts. I'm okay with that. This I would love to see now continue to the upside, man. Because this is forming a pretty serious potential move now. After that, come down, stop everybody out that got long. Yeah, Dow was looking weaker, cracked below the low again, the 930 low, and after testing VWAP, came all the way back down, but trying to turn itself around. Buyers looking to bring that thing higher. Very, very similar structure at NQ. Extremely similar. Let me reset that VWAP because that's not in the right spot. Very, very similar structure out of MNQ here. I think I had NQ marked up. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, let's see, man. It could still be a down day, right? We could still be in for a move to the downside, but so far, push up through VWAP, closes above, aggressive pullback, putting a higher low in and coming back up to break above the highs. This looks okay. Looks okay. That looks good on the 5-minute chart, right? That's an aggressive, 2 bullish candle combination. If we get above this high and start closing above, that'll look really nice. Is there no wick on that 15-minute? I don't love that. Really would like to see some closes above here and continuation out of this. Still at risk for this just being this crazy choppiness back and forth, and it'd have to come all the way back down on me. But just like when we're in drawdown, we'll chill, stay calm, and try to be objective, right? I try to look at the market to say, if I wasn't in a trade, what would I want to do, right? Would I want to be long if I wasn't long? Would I want to be short if I wasn't short? This thesis was initially based on this continuation of the upside, but the stop loss was placed wide down where it is to allow for this to happen, to allow for a retest and a potential continuation up. This is as close to my stop as I could possibly get, with being within 1 tick right here. So we'll see if we get continuation. We're back above VWAP, really aggressive test of this level again. If we fail up here again at the 40s, at the 140s here in ES, MES, and we come all the way back down through the 130s, absolutely no shot that I'm taking another long, that I'm looking for anything to continue the upside. In fact, I think we're much more likely to just fail higher and continue lower. But that would be it for me for the day. I would just call it there on those two. Is this in the right spot? Yeah, let me just double check where ES VWAP is. So still long, 7 micros from 61.38 3/4. Stop is still at the original place, 61.31 1/2. If you hopped on late, survived that one by the skin of my teeth so far. That's funny, man. Always entertaining. 61.38 1/4 is showing. 61.38 and. Yeah, not bad. The VWAP is a lot less touchy, at least from what I see on ES working with smaller numbers. Yeah, so again, no take profit set on this, guys. I typically run my trades like that. Unless I'm stepping away or the level that I want to take profit is about to get hit, I'm going to leave this for a potentially larger move to the upside, right? Show me a little bit of profit. Again, not a positive risk to reward or near it yet. I like the way that the structure is formed. I'm very comfortable with where my stop loss is to say we come back through this level. I am dead wrong. We're not moving higher. I don't think we're going to retest and then continue. We surely can, but that looked like the killer move to the downside. This looked like a lot of back and forth. And now maybe we're in for some directional movement out of this market. But I don't know. You know, can still be choppy, can still just be consolidation ahead of that 2 a.m. Red Folder News event. You know, we don't really know. Areas that I would look for potential trouble. Yeah, this is a level right here, obviously, right? We tested it the first time. We're coming back up to check it out again. This is absolutely a level to be paying attention to. Next area, next zone that I'd be watching, you know, for potential resistance. Pretty obvious, right? Coming off of all of these highs and, you know, areas of consolidation out of this big. This is not resetting. Hang on one second. Come on, volume profile. That's correct. That's not correct. I don't know why the 15-minute. There we go. Oh, it is correct. It is resetting. Yeah, this is the next area into the mid to high 40s that I'd be looking at. But this is something that I'm probably going to hold on to. Again, right? I went wide stop loss. That means in order to, you know, to even realize a 1-to-1, I'm going to be looking for something, yeah, right up to that level, right? 7.5 points at the very least, if that's what I'm, you know, putting on for risk. Maybe something, you know, cracking above that level would provide a nice positive risk to reward. But this could be something that I take partials on and then hold for a continuation of the upside. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. But yeah, just a discretionary level that I'd be looking at. Above price would be right around here, right? The highs from last week's consolidation chop that we put higher lows, into, tapping against that level. Broke above, retested, broke above, and then, you know, cracked below. A little bit of consolidation here on this push up from yesterday. Test here in the overnight session in pre-market for NYSE. That's going to be the next line in the sand. This push up, this 1030 crack to the upside, obviously is step number one. Need to get above this volatile candle here. But that's probably around where I'd be looking for some profit. Into that zone, you know, a test above these highs here, you know, really holding VWAP. Maybe for partials and hold for a runner because, you know, again, this could be a nice movement to the upside. But like I talked about earlier on the first trade, I'm really looking to not be super greedy with these. You know, 1-to-1, or if you take risk to reward out of the equation, just looking to take profit, right? Looking to take profit when it's available to you within reason, right? Like grabbing $85 on $250 worth of risk, probably not going to play out great in the long run. I'll probably have a really high win rate and a really, you know, low risk to reward. My losers will be a lot larger than my winners. But something relative that makes sense near a 1-to-1, if we're finding resistance, if price action and market structure showing us, hey, you know, we're really struggling at this level, or we're at a level, approaching a level that we may find some serious resistance at, you know, I don't think there's something wrong with that. So yeah, somewhere up here could be really sweet. That would be much safer for sure, just grabbing a nice 1-to-1 on it. But somewhere up here would be pretty sweet for a take profit level. That would be really beautiful, but I think that's not being inherently greedy, asking for something out of the market that it doesn't want to form, and something we could reasonably approach. Not going to leave that on for now, but just measuring out a little bit with you guys. But again, let's see if we are going to get some movement out of this market, or if we are just going to chop, right? Like I talked about, I don't have a better way to structure risk than where my stop loss is right now. You could always go stop to break even and say, Zach, don't let a winning trade turn into a losing trade. Everybody likes to say that when something moves in my favor and then comes back to stop me out. You can call me diamond hands over here, man. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hold our trades, okay? And we'll look to manage risk as best we can. Go stop loss to break even when it makes sense. But with my entry at VWAP, ooh, that's a nice push up. With my entry at VWAP, I'm going to leave it where it is for right now. Let's see. I'm looking at a crack into and potentially above this zone. Watching the 44s where we had quite a bit of liquidity. There we go. Cracking through right there. 44 and a half. You remember me talking about that earlier? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 160s I had way up above was the next level. Let's see what happens at this zone. Again, we just look like a deeper push into this area right here, but we might respect this really cleanly and reject here. That could be trouble. That could be trouble, boys and girls. But that's a beautiful push to the upside. Aggressive push lower and then continuation higher. This is going to be a gnarly day if we come all the way back down. I'm going to hold on to the winning trade that I've got, at least for right now. I'm not going to hold this all day. It's not going to be something that I get stupid greedy on. But I'd like to see a little bit of a further push through that zone, right towards the top of this zone where you can see all these highs are. I think that's reasonable discretionary level to be looking for take profit. We did sweep above this and start to reject. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Decision-making time, man. Decision-making time. Watching Bookmap just to see if I can get anything else out of Bookmap. I got some orders below, but nothing insane. There we go. Can we get a little bit of a push higher here? I'm going to take it right there, guys. I'm not going to be greedy with this one. I think this thing can run. I think it potentially can run. There's opportunity to leave a runner and go stop loss to break even. Reason I'm not going to do that is my entry is right at VWAP. Right at VWAP. I think if we are going to pull back down before blasting off, which we may do today because we have such big structure, VWAP is a really clean level to be tested, right? And I don't want to let something that far past, into a one-to-one come all the way back down to stop me at break even. I just don't think that that's a great way to manage risk. Again, looking to take profit a little bit quicker on my trades. That's the game plan. It's what I talked about off the beginning. Going to try to stay consistent. I'm tempted to leave something like that on, but we're finding resistance right here, right now. Pretty obvious level. Do I think we can blast off and go check out overnight highs and prior day's highs? Yes. I think it would be unlikely that we do that without first retesting around this area where my entry is, which would cause me to get stopped out if I went stop loss to break even. So for all those reasons, taking the trade off. Ending now, 81.40 times 3. One loser, one winner. Winner being larger than the loser. That's it. We're making money with a 50-50 win rate. Made it by the skin of my teeth on this one, guys. Held on all the way near stop loss, one tick, but we got the push to the upside. Again, we'll see how this plays. This may just blast off from here, but I'm not going to be greedy with it. I made my notes. I made my journal from yesterday and looking at my trades, especially on ES, over the last year of data almost. Not being insanely greedy if I'm here on the 1 minute chart. I start to do something dangerous where I zoom out on the 30 minute And all of a sudden now I'm holding for 30-minute, 1 hour time frame moves when I'm really structuring trades on the 1 minute. So for those reasons, trade closed. But nice win. Had to take on quite a bit of risk for that one. Not a massive risk to reward, but closing out the trade where it makes sense, cracking above this level, capturing some of the movement, not all of it. Don't need to capture all day. Can look for a second entry, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Happy to get a wiener with you guys on here. That was gonna suck to take 2 back-to-back, but it happens, man. That's why you stay calm, right? You typically don't see me freaking out. Like, I don't like to take losses. I definitely don't like to get ticked out and then watch the market rip in my direction. But it happens. If you trade for long enough, you know that all that stuff happens. And it just comes down to letting your trades play out, letting the odds play out in your favor, and not doing anything crazy. I think where most guys go wrong is maybe they take that first trade and they don't want to put that risk on the second time like I did, or they take a second stop out. Like on another day, that ticks me out, right? And instead of just stopping, they continue to trade. They try to work their way back to break even, and it ends up, instead of being a $350, $400 loss on the day, it ends up being a loss account, So, yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. Again, you guys can watch this for yourself. You can see how that trade management plays out. I'll certainly be looking at it. If we come back towards this entry area where I had my entry around VWAP, I'll say, hey, pretty good job closing out. We just continue ripping from here. We blast off and don't look back until overnight low, prior day high. It can definitely be journaled under one of the ones where, had I not closed it, had I not touched it and held for a huge runner, or even taking partials and then hold for a runner, maybe that works better. But for me, also looking at the time, right, coming up on 11:30, been sitting in front of the charts for, about 2 hours. Unless I'm just going to set a take profit and stop loss and walk away completely, it gets a little bit lengthy to be on the charts. So in any event, ending green, total 81.40 times 3, a whopping $244. Nothing crazy. I can get my Chipotle with the guac on it and end for a green day. But appreciate you guys hopping on here. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Remember, trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose all or more of the money that you intend to trade with. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear from me here or anywhere else is financial advice or a suggestion to do anything. Don't recommend copying anything that I'm doing. It's for entertainment purposes only. Make your own trading decisions. You're responsible for them. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from the links in my content. And on that note, lastly, hop in the free Discord, guys. 100% free trading community. I'm going to throw this in chat one more time for you guys. We'll be happy to see you there. I'm active in there all day, every day, talking to you guys almost all day, every day. And yeah, anything outside of these live sessions that I get a chance to call out, especially something that maybe I'm managing, into me coming off the live, I try to call out in there. Happy to see you guys there. Thanks for hopping on. See you tomorrow live again, 9:30 a.m. Eastern.